Okay, thank you for tuning in to BioS3 RAW TV. Today, I want to talk a little bit about intensity. Now, what do I mean by intensity? So if you're fairly new to the gym and you've just started going to the gym, or let's say you've been in the gym for a while, you see the newbies come through the door, and you notice they have very little control over their movements. So if you give them a bench press, you'll see that they're kind of wobbly and stuff. Their stabilizing muscles haven't developed yet, and their strength is low. But if you gave them a weight and said go to failure with it, probably they wouldn't be able to go to failure. Their body wouldn't be able to work right, and their mind won't be able to get into that muscle and force it to go to failure. Even if they could get it to go to failure, more than likely they wouldn't be able to go past failure. So that's what I mean by intensity. So you may see someone who's, in the gym and they're doing an exercise, and they may not look like they're doing very much, but they may actually be applying an intensity that they have learned how to do over time, that making that exercise very, very difficult. So, for instance, let me explain. So, over time, you develop that mind-muscle connection, and you're able to apply more intensity to an exercise. So, let's say you were doing 225 on the bench. Now, as you're benching 225, the more you do it, the more your body becomes accustomed to doing it, the more that your mind and your muscles get in tune with each other. So now as you're benching, everything feels normal. You know how to zone in. You know what it feels like. You know how it's not supposed to feel. So you know when you're in the groove and you're feeling good, what it's supposed to feel like. Now mentally, once you're in that groove, you can actually start to, and I don't really know how it happens, but if you read the Big Beyond Belief, Serious Growth 3 book, there's a section that I believe it's level 3, which is called Platt style training. No, level 3 is instinctive training. Level 4, which is Platt style training. The Platt style training is what I'm talking about here. Tom Platz could take a set far beyond failure, far beyond what anybody else could do at the time. It was inhuman what he used to do. And that was because of his mind-muscle connection, what mentally he could make himself do. So there are different phases of that intensity. You have your beginner intensity, intermediate, advanced, and then, there are other levels of intensity that unless you can get there or have someone to bring you to that intensity, you don't know. You don't even know it exists. So I've read this thing since the late 90s about Platt's style training, about how he used to picture that he was the Pac-Man, and he would eat those little dots on the game, and every dot was a rep. So he would see himself doing that. So he'd actually kind of have outer body experiences. It's where it takes bodybuilding from an exercise into an art. Now, fast forward 20 years. I become friends with Kevin Levrone, IFBB Pro, and I think I train pretty hard. And Kevin comes to the gym one day and he's going to work out with us. So we start working out with Kevin, and he was able to push us further than we had ever been. There was like a new level that I had gotten to intensity-wise that I didn't even know existed. I thought I was already tapped out. Like, this is as advanced as I get. This is it. This is where it's at. Until he brought me to that next level. Now, Kevin knew that level because he trained there. Someone brought him to that level. So when you see these pros, yes, they're training intensely, but they're actually on a whole nother level that's very difficult to understand unless you've actually seen one in person train or trained with one of these guys in person. Like, if you look at Cutler, his first set and the first exercise of his workout to the end, and he's got a high volume workout, the intensity is the same all the way through to that last set. He doesn't get to calves and just skimp, do a couple sets. Every set of calves is just as intense as every set of bench presses or curls or whatever. And this is the intensity that these guys apply that takes them to that next level. Yes, they use drugs. Yes, they do all kinds of crazy things, but without that key, that intensity, these guys would never be where they are. And they put that intensity into everything they do in their lives. It's almost like they are born with the gift of being able to put intensity into things. Whereas if Jay Cutler wanted to be the king of ping pong, I'm sure he would put the intensity into it until he became the king of ping pong. And you see that they're successful in other endeavors because they put that same kind of intensity and focus into the rest of their life, not just with bodybuilding. But I'm sure all of them will agree, bodybuilding is what helped them develop or taught them that intensity that they already had inside of them, that they then took from bodybuilding and applied it to other areas of their life, which made them successful at those. So this is just a little insight on bodybuilders. They're not the big dumb stereotype that some of you may think they are, or some of you that are getting into it now. There are levels that you're going to go through, and how high it goes, I don't know. Who knows? Ronnie doesn't know. Maybe there's a level Ronnie could have even got to past it. Who knows? Maybe no one's ever reached it. but you will go through the different levels until you reach your goals. And my advice is to find someone who's on that level, who's been there, and try to train with them or have them train you so that they can bring you up to that level, okay? BioS3 training at Gmail, and that's my email address, excuse me. And my blog, bios3training.com. See you guys soon, and we're out.